How is everyone doing out there tonight? I mean, that doesn't sound good enough. Listen, we've been in the house almost over a year and a half. Nobody's happy to be back outside? There we go. Welcome, everybody. I just want to explain to everybody why we're here today. I mean, hopefully some of you know. But history will be made tonight. If you don't know, now you know. We're celebrating one of the greatest movies ever made. You know, let's get a round of applause for that. You know, too many times when a film doesn't go into a movie theater, people think, what's the matter? It's not good? You know, one of the greatest movies, one of the best portrayals. Somebody like Armand Assante. I mean, what are we talking about here? One of the greatest actors of our time. Dominic Chianese, 90 years old, came in from London. William Forsythe. You know, it's exciting when you get a chance to see all these favorite actors, when you look at them like superheroes, and you see them hugging each other and kissing each other because they're peers, you know? And it's really a special thing to see Dominic Chianese and David Preval hugging and kissing, and Armand kissing them and haven't seen them in years, because that's what it's about. It's a brotherhood. It's a family. And I think that's what's important, because most of us, our backbone comes from our family. And that's what's important. You know, when you look at these mob movies, it's not about all the crime, right? It's about good actors. And it's about 1996 HBO Gotti movie. So without further ado, first off, actually, before I get to this, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. We're kicking off Sopranoscon and MobMovieCon weekend. Okay? I'm so excited to be here, and I hope everybody else is. I promise you this will be a legendary night. I promise you that. I promise you history will be made. I said it before, I say it again. People who know, maybe they know, but people who don't know, I promise you history will be made tonight. You will be part of a group where history will be made. Okay? Tomorrow, MobMovieCon and Sopranoscon. It's going to be legendary. 7 p.m., red carpet, the Mob Movie Award. First ever Mob Movie Awards. Let's start giving people their roses. Let's start showing people how much we appreciated them. And that's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. Then we're back at it again on Sunday with Sopranoscon and MobMovieCon. Listen, I'm not going to talk no more. I want to bring out an incredible actor. Has played in so many goddamn movies. The legendary William Forsythe.
John's aces with me. I mean, you got a kid that I know out of a jam with the Zulus up in Greenland.
Hello! There he is.
John's problem is that he's
Let's give it up for William Forsythe. Let's get that video playing. Where's the video of William Forsythe?
Western is
Kyle, where are you, baby? Where's Kyle? I'm waiting for the video of William Forsythe.
John's aces with me. I mean, you got a kid.
Let me tell you something. A lot of people, there's a lot of Gotti movies out there. Okay? There's a lot of Gotti movies out there. The best I ever seen someone play Sammy the Bull. The best. The absolute best. Now, I was being serious when I was talking to Kyle and team. Can I get William Forsythe's video up there?
John's aces with me. I mean, you got a kid that I know out of a jam with the Zulus up in Greenland. He didn't have to do it.
And Johnny's problem is that he's a street Neapolitan, huh? Always scheming. Western is a circus.
Let's give her a big round of applause for William Forsythe. Let's go. All right. It's a big one. It's a big one. Dominic Chianese. Hold on, Dominic Chianese. Hold on. Hold on. Recently turned 90 years old. Let's give him a big round of applause. singer, actor, Dominic Chianese. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
What's it doing? Good thing.
The rule was broken. Yes. False got it done.
And ladies and
What's the
gentlemen,
reason for breaking the rule so powerful that it was
where Uncle Junior was born. Let me tell you something. You talk about an artist, a creative like Dominic Chianese. Okay? Let's give him his flowers tonight. Why do people want to wait till people pass away to give them their flowers? Let's give them their flowers tonight. Give a big round of applause. I mean, an incredible singer, an incredible actor, and somebody who came all the way from London to be with everybody for this weekend. This is going to be a moment of a lifetime. And I'm ready. I love this guy, man. I love this guy. One of the greatest actors of our time. I say that. I say that. The voice, the look, the person. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for Armand Assante.
And I think of Neil, and he was sitting there right now, what he said to me. He said, John, what's it about? What's life about? You don't go through this man's man.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
That's made you who you are. That makes you what you are. How long have we been around this thing of ours? This goes on Austria. 120 years. I mean, what's it about? It's about the rules, parameters. When you take the beating for the friend, you don't run, you don't lay down.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. First off, I want to give a big shout out to the whole family, the whole team at virtualcons.com. You know, when this world was going left, we went right. I remember telling these three crazy people, Joe Fama, Michael Mata, Daniel Trader, tell them that in order to pull this off, you would have to be crazy. I told them this the first time, or maybe the second time I met them. And you are all crazy, because look what's going on. Now I did say history will be made. Okay, I did say history will be made, so let's fucking make it. Without further ado, the CEO of VirtualCons, my friend, a great leader, Michael Mata. Let's give him a big round of applause. Keep it going. Let's keep it going.
Check, check. Check, check, check. A little more on the mic. Let's get a little music, please. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming tonight. It's an honor and a privilege to obviously be up here with these great men that I now can call my friend. And the funny thing is, this all started for the fans, by the fans. So it's all because of you. So round of applause for everybody in the audience. Now, we started this thing of ours a few years ago. I think it was November, I forget now, in 2019. And I heard Pete say with dear friends, Dan Trader and Joe Fama. Now, you probably won't see Joe Fama because he's downstairs getting this ready for you for tomorrow. So let's give an applause for Joe Fama and Dan Trader. I'd also like to thank all our other partners, Federico Castelluccio, Brandon, Simone, and all our investors. I want to thank everybody. This has been a great ride, and we're just getting started. So let me tell you a quick story, and then I'm going to give you some news, and then I'm going to let you do what they do, the Gotti reunion, which gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. 2 years ago, we had our Sopranoscon. We had 15,000 people over 2 days. You're probably sick of me talking about this, but we had 15,000 people all over the world, and we realized how many people really love this genre, and we realized that we had something special. And we decided to have MobMovieCon here at Harrah's Resort Casino and at Caesars Entertainment in Las Vegas. They wanted us. They wanted us to come and enjoy, so we could have something very special. And just like some of you might have experienced, life threw us a curveball, and it was a pandemic. So God rest all those that suffered or passed from the pandemic. But we had a crazy, crazy year. And we said to ourselves, okay, now what? We do events. And events have more than 5 people. And how are we going to continue the flow? And we decided to create an app called Virtual Cons. See, I wore my sneakers today for Virtual Cons. So I wear the brand, I live the brand. But Virtual Cons, really quick, is a way for us to connect globally. So if you see all the cameras back there, we're being viewed all over the world. So folks in Australia, England, Africa, all can watch this great event. And that's really the way of the future and how things are going to happen. We're going to have those that come live, and then we're going to have those that go virtual. But together, we're all one. We're all one fan base that loves and eats and sleeps mob movies. Sopranos. Anybody like the Sopranos out there? So over the next 2 days, we are going to celebrate the Sopranos, greatest TV show in history, and we're going to honor the mob movies, but we took it one step further, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue getting bigger and bigger, and we're going to do the first ever Mob Movie Awards and give these guys and girls the recognition they deserve in the genre that we love so much. And we're going to have some cannolis, of course. We're always going to have some cannolis. So tomorrow, a lot of people flying over tomorrow. We're going to have all those tables full. We're going to have a full dinner. We have awards to give out, and it's going to be a great tribute to the movies. Now, again, if you haven't downloaded Virtual Cons, it's in the App Store and the Android Store. Again, people are watching live, so let's make some noise to all those that have not come today but are watching live. So again, we're excited for the next 2 days. It's very experiential. Tomorrow the doors will open. People are already haunting me to get in. We didn't even start yet, so we won't get a lot of sleep tonight, but we're turning downstairs into a mob movie experience, Sopranos experience. We have over 75 celebrities, 25 influencers that'll be here, and they'll be spreading the love all around, and you guys are going to have a great time. So thank you again for coming. Now, I'm going to give you some news, because we want to always push the envelope a little bit. Those that know me and know our team, and thank you to my team, by the way, they've done a tremendous job. We went from 5 employees to 25 employees, and in the next 3 or 6 months, we now have a headquarters in the state of Rhode Island, and we're boosting the economy, and we're going to do another 75 to 100 jobs, and we're going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to create jobs that kick ass and have a great time. So now, thank you. So now I'm going to read, and thank you, my wife as well, Jody, who puts up with me. I don't know where she is. And my kids, who unfortunately I don't get to have my kids here with me. So again, it's a labor of love that we're doing here. And I hope, and I do get a lot of text messages and Facebook messages, and I become a little celebrity in my own mind. But all of you are so generous and kind. I've had people send me gifts, things on my Disney trip, just because they know that we have a lot of passion for this, and this is a nice door door to be open. So now I'm going to read something to you because this is a little bit more formal, because we have some cool news to announce. And what better to announce the news than tonight at the Gotti reunion? So my name is Michael Mata. As the co-founder and CEO of Virtual Cons, I am most pleased to announce that our company, in association with Vision Studios, is set to begin a production on a major film, Gotti 2. The title of the movie will be Gotti 2, The Final Chapter, Facts Undisputed. And this will be the long-awaited sequel to the 1996 multiple Primetime Emmy Award-winning Gotti. And, thank you, returning in the title role is Armand Assante. He's the celebrated actor who took home the Outstanding Lead Actor in a miniseries or a special Emmy for his powerful, moving portrayal of John Gotti. I am proud to inform you that Armand serves as our chairman of the board for Virtual Cons. Tonight, among the original Gotti cast members who join us tonight is my dear friend Dominic Chianese and William Forsythe. And who knows, maybe they'll be in the new movie, we'll see. Gotti 2, The Final Chapter, Facts Undisputed, will be written by Nick Vallelonga, co-writer and producer of The Green Book, who received Best Original Screenplay and Best Picture Academy Awards for his contributions to the unforgettable and already iconic film, and George Gallo, writer of Midnight Run, starring Robert De Niro. Our producers include Arnold Rifkin, a Hollywood stalwart known for bringing to the screen, among many memorable films, Tears of Sun in 2003, 16 Blocks in 2006, and Live Free or Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard 2007. Thank you. Also producing this film will be now a new friend of mine, Johnny Ariola, founder of Vision Studios. His affiliations include The Jerry Springer Show. Yes, you heard me right. The Jerry Springer Show. And I did hear a story. No, he doesn't want me to say that. But I did hear a story that he needed to pump up the crowd. He didn't know what to do. So he said, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. The Ellen DeGeneres Show, Windy City Live, and sports entertainment for Don King Boxing, HBO, and Telefatora. And I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't casually mention that I will serve in the role of executive producer of Gotti 2. Finally, oh, here he is. Here's John. Say hi to John.
I had to come up. As long as you're talking about me, I had to come up. But I got to say, Bill, what's going on? I haven't seen you since Chicago in a while. But anyway, we'll talk about that. How about this guy to put on this event tonight, guy? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So when I did the Jerry Springer Show, when he's talking about, I talked about doing Jerry, and I was like, Jerry. I was a young guy, 21 years old, and the executive producer, who was like the biggest guy in the world to me, I needed to impress him. And he's like, get the audience going, get the audience going. It's like, I don't know how to fucking get the audience going. You know, I had no fucking clue. So, but they didn't listen to me, and they're all, they're talking in the audience, and the audience is going back and forth, the guest on stage. And I went, I don't know what to do. He goes, just get him going. And I went, Jerry. Haunts me for the rest of my life. Anyway, love Virtual Cons, and we can't wait to make the movie with Armand and everybody here. But anyway, thanks for I'm glad we're a part of it. Michael, you're the best. Your whole team is the best. You guys are awesome. You guys rock it. You guys rock it.
Round of applause for Johnny. I hate to tell him, he was 21. I was like 5 at the time, but that's all right. Finally, I'm proud to announce the involvement in our work of a prime mover of Gotti 2. He is unrivaled living repository of fact regarding the life and times of his father, a surgeon of sorts who cuts away the malignancies of falsehood, innuendos, and slander to reveal the truth about the man who raised him, the man whose name he carries, the man to whom he's devoted. I speak of our production key advisor, John A. Gotti. John's mission is to tell his father's story factually and comprehensively, which is precisely why he has come to us in our shared capacity as storytellers. He understands that with Gotti 2, we will deliver the truth via the powerful vehicle of dramatic fiction. He knows that Gotti fictions written and told as fact by so-called authorities are best described as boogeyman tales, fables cynically designed to keep an underinformed citizenry scared and willing to excuse the many illegal and immoral excuses of self-proclaimed honorable protectors. John has granted us, the producers and the creative core of Gotti 2, the final chapter, Facts Undisputed, unfettered access to his family's archives, including hundreds of hours of video and audio tapes and thousands of pages of public, private, and even allegedly secret documents. The only promise we make to John, and by extension his family, is one of honesty throughout the storytelling process. He has willingly accepted our assurance that punches will not be pulled, and he acknowledges that corrective surgery is never bloodless when done with skill and honor, almost always effective. Simultaneously with the production of Gotti 2 will be the creation of a documentary thoroughly informed by the Gotti archives. The academic rigor and tone that are inappropriate in a piece of dramatic fiction will be present in abundance throughout his nonfiction production. The working title of this documentary will be Behind the Scenes, The Making of Gotti 2, Final Chapter, Facts Undisputed. Further plans are underway to convert the former Ravenite Social Club, the 247 Mulberry Street space that is commonly described as the Manhattan headquarters of the Gambino crime family during the 1970s and 1980s, into a museum. Okay. I think he's excited. The space will display items from the aforementioned Gotti archives and interactively tell a story undiminished by official and cultural fabrications. I'll close with a brief mediation on the immeasurable allure of so-called mob stories. My company is enjoying remarkable success producing events like Sopranoscon, MobMovieCon, and tonight the Gotti reunion. Thousands upon thousands of fans of the mob genre in general and the title stories in particular flock to meet the men and women who have brought these favorite entertainments to life. But there's an even deeper response, one that doesn't always rise above the subconscious, to what every intelligently created mob story delivers, to which our private stories confirm. Beneath the violence and the sex, below the thin film of soap opera conventions, mob stories dispel myths and show the truth about who and what we could be if only given an opportunity. And in their most inspired iterations, mob stories take us by the shoulders, spin us around to face realities about which we'd rather not think. My favorite example of such a scene, at least until Gotti 2's out, takes place in The Godfather, Part 2, when Michael Corleone confronts a holier-than-thou U.S. senator who simultaneously is disparaging the appearance and criminality of Italian Americans and demanding a huge bribe. Michael sets him straight when he says, "We're both part of the same hypocrisy, Senator, but never think it applies to my family." I join with my fellow travelers on the Gotti 2 journey when I state that when all is said and done, we are international audiences will have been moved to deep thought and bold feeling, which is to say we will have been educated and entertained. What happens next, my friends, is up to us. I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. We are so excited for this journey that we're about to undertake. I'm so happy that Armand Assante has become a chairman of our board, but even more, I'm so happy that he's become my friend, and I cannot wait for this journey, and Virtual Cons is gonna kick some serious ass. So without further ado, let's go to the Gotti reunion. I'll see you guys all around. I'm very excited. Thank you very much. God bless. Jindan. Hold on. I forgot one thing. Can I at least have like the Godfather music or something? No, but one thing. All of you today and all of you around the world are going to be the first to share this news. So take out your cell phones, because this is a new technology. And I'm looking out there and some people are saying, shit, I only have a flip phone. I don't know what the fuck to do over here. You are the first ones to know that Gotti 2 is out. So you should be the first PR team for us. Let them know that we're about to make history. And all of you are with us. Thank you. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was some great news. You know, let's give it up for Michael Mata one more time. That didn't sound too good. Come on, there we go. And I'll tell you one thing. It is my pleasure to introduce Mayor Marty Smalls.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Come on, where's your energy at? Good evening. And as we say here in the great city of Atlantic City, it's a great day here in the city of Atlantic City. Can we say great day? One more time, can we say great day? Yes, I'm Mayor Marty Smalls, Sr., Mayor of the great city of Atlantic City. It is my honor and pleasure to be here with you tonight as we support MobMovieCon. We appreciate this event. We look forward to more events such as Boxing MovieCon, but this weekend, we celebrate MobMovieCon. Now, not that I want to glorify it, but the great city of Atlantic City has a strong history with the mob. As you saw in Boardwalk Empire, Nucky Johnson brought Al Capone to Atlantic City during that time. But listen, in order for us to continue to be a great city, we have to support entertainment endeavors. We have to change. We can't survive on casinos alone. So I thank, you guys for bringing MobMovieCon here. And listen, we want Atlantic City to be the official home as we transition to offer more entertainment events. And on behalf of the great city of Atlantic City, I welcome each and every one of you. Go spend money in the community this weekend. Thank you.
Another round of applause for the mayor, man. Okay, yes, you can take it down. I mean, to have the mayor here is an honor, for people to believe in what you're doing. You think about it, I still have friends that we talk to in lines. I thought you said you was a right, Spider. Or go get your shine box. You think about it, people still use these lines as they talk to people. And those are the people that are here today. With this news of Gotti 2, what I want to do is we're going to have a nice little conversation with these three individuals. But we're going to start with Armand Assante. And for those who may not remember Gotti, there is some. And it's okay. We just keep on letting them know of how great this movie is. Let's play Armand clip. And let's take a moment to remember.
And I think of Neil. And if he was sitting there right now, what he'd say to me? He'd say, John,
let's lower the lights a little. Make it louder, please.
What's life about? If you don't go through it as a man's man. You say, suck it up. Take the fall. Do the time. That's made you who you are. That makes you what you are. How long have we been around this thing of ours? This Cosa Nostra. 120 years. I mean, what's it about? It's about the rules, parameters, When you take the beating for the friend, you don't run, you don't lay down, you don't betray who you are. What you are.
Self-esteem.
Self-esteem is basic. You pick it up in the street. That goes with the street. You got to remember Angie here. I love this guy. I loved him. And he was stupid. He never listened to me. He always wanted the goddamn dope money. He never rolled. You know that? He never rolled. My brother Gene, Joey the Mig, they don't roll. They're doing 1,000 years now. They don't roll. They don't rat, White. That's the rule. You don't break, you don't rat. Basic rules. Gives you a little power, right? Not the kind of power these feds have. God forbid, right? God forbid we pull their chain in public, right? Fucking dress better than them, they take it personal. Like it's a fucking vendetta. 5, 10 years from now. They're gonna wish it was American Cosa Nostra. 5, 10 years from now. They're gonna miss John Gotti. Remember the time we were in Vegas, we see that funny guy, Joey Villain?
Yeah, at the Riviera,
Yeah.
right?
Who's the guy walking in the bar that night, Jojo?
That short guy.
Yeah, Jojo.
Oh, yeah, that's a funny story. Listen to this.
Jojo comes into the bar, right? He's wearing a solid gold buckle. This big, says Jojo on it. He's got a bracelet on his arm, says Jojo on it. Got a fucking necklace, says Jojo on it. He's got solid gold cufflinks, they all say Jojo on it, right? But little chink bellhop walks in, he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Jojo." He says, "Shut the fuck up, I don't want nobody know I'm here." Why don't they give me Sammy? I mean, I just know nothing about this guy. I mean, you're the underboss here, Neil. You know, Castellano should defer to you a little. He wants one of his guys along, I got no beef. Just tell him to give me Sammy.
For once, Galleone, on this piece of work. Leave it at that.
Is that what you want?
Doesn't matter what the fuck I want. That's the way it is.
Do it again. He's gonna snap it at you. A lateral pass, you gotta suck it in.
You ready to go
Suck
home
it
yet? No, I got my bike. I'm gonna ride home.
Okay, you were great.
Thanks.
You're doing great. You're my champion, all right?
Yeah.
Hey, hey. Take that.
Hey, see you next week, huh? Okay, see ya.
So, John, how's the couch business? You still selling Castro convertibles?
That's a living. Can't complain.
Fucking life.
Let's take it out of fucking cokehead.
Be quiet. Sit down. I said sit down. You know, I've clipped a lot of guys in my life. Close friends. Guys I didn't know. I didn't always agree that the guy should be clipped. But I never questioned the orders. And I never went off half-cocked and clipped somebody I wasn't supposed to. Now you shut up. You just listen. You know, Big Paul went to Don Carlo for permission to have you whacked. It came this close. I told Don Carlo, you were like a son to me. All right, some good news first. Don Carlo made it official. You come out of here, you come out of captain.
God bless you, man. God bless you. How's my Frankie?
Crazy motherfucking wop, man. Just walk.
So he's missing 6 ounces of coke.
Yeah, you heard right. Guinea Perillo, he's going to get a ship stuck in his ass.
You know, I say hard time is for hard-ons. What are we trying to do here? Try to do some easy time. You know, you start that shit, it's a lockdown. Then what you got? You got no booze, no bros, no phones, no visitors. You weren't even gonna get TV rights. Now, come on, you and me, we cool that, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm listening.
All right, that's 6 ounces of coke you lost. I'm gonna replace it. I got Genovese people hijacking 3 loads out of Kennedy the last 2 months. Now, Columbo's took off a couple, too. If I gotta rip somebody's fucking eyes out here...
Hey, wait a minute, no, wait, hold. Nobody's eyes are gonna get ripped.
I'm ready to whack the motherfuckers
Nobody
right
is
now.
gonna get whacked. Not unless the boss of this family approves. Understood? Now, you've been away for a while.
Bullshit. You know, all you do, you cry like babies all day long, you bite my ass like around the clock. You know, if I'm not in here having my famous espresso with 20 ducks by 10, I'm back in here by noon to check the numbers. You know, but I'm the one who goes down to Mulberry to check it out with Mr. Neal, right? I'm the one who goes out to Staten Island to pay respect to that lay down Cazzopoli. And I gotta drink more bitter coffee, because the spit maid cannot even run a fucking espresso machine. I gotta sit with that zombie Bilotti, Doberman in my ass. I gotta go out to the island now to talk to Bobby about stolen watches. Are you fucking kidding me?
Harrah indictment's coming down this afternoon.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. And the really bad news, John, is that Angelo's house has been bugged for months.
Jesus Christ. That's stupid, greedy motherfucking moron!
Johnny, I had a girl.
Was that Irish girl?
Yeah. That's right, yeah. You know, I could go 2, 3 days without sleep, my God. I was so strong. You know, I live this goddamn life long enough. And you know, you can't take anything with you except your honor. Don't ever lose that, Johnny. Johnny, this whole fucking thing lasts only 5 minutes.
All right, let me out. Who is the guy, Tony Rigoletto?
No,
Tony Rigoletto.
Rigoletto's an opera. It's Tony Rigoletto.
I'm talking about
Tony
opera.
Rigatoni.
The guy could sing an entire opera in Italian, word for word. Didn't speak a word of Italian. He's like an idiot savant. These guys are retarded. They do one thing perfect.
How come only servants can do this stuff?
Savants!
What servant, Jeff? Please say servant. Please say.
You can convict John Gotti because he curses on the telephone. You can convict John Gotti because he gambles excessively. You can convict John Gotti because he lives a lifestyle which you may or may not.
What about him?
But that is not
We
what
own
my
him.
client is charged with.
Worst case, it's a hung jury.
You want to get...
Oh, looks good. Oh, looks good.
He's here with his lawyer.
If he was sitting there right now, what would he say to me? He'd say, John, what's it about? What's life about? If you don't go through it as a man's man. He'd say, suck it up, take the fall, do the time. That's made you who you are. That makes you who you are. How long we been around, this thing of ours, this Cosa Nostra? 120 years. What's it about? It's about rules. Parameters. You take the beating for the friend. You don't run. You don't lay down. You don't betray who you are. What you are. You gotta remember Angie, my brother Gene, Joey DeMake. They don't roll. They're doing 1,000 years now. They don't roll. They don't rat. Why? That's the rule. You don't break. You don't rat.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going for Armand Assante. I mean, if that don't give you goosebumps, then I mean, when we put together that clip, I know it was a little bit long, so thank you for everybody. I just wanted people to understand how multifaceted this guy is. I mean, what a goddamn actor. I mean, you think about the energy, the laugh, the jokes, the seriousness. That's Armand Assante. The face, the mannerisms. The mannerisms, unbeatable. I mean, this is not something I'm saying. Listen, I don't have, I'm not being paid to say this. You know, when you think about somebody like Neil Della Croce, the late, great Anthony Quinn, you know, when we think about the Gotti movie, we think about it being filmed in Toronto, Canada. minus 18 degrees these cameras were when Gotti was filmed. How cold was it out in Toronto filming this movie?
We often, I hope you can hear me, we often shot in 17 below zero. So it was quite a remarkable day one day, and I looked and I saw Anthony Quinn, who was 83 at the time, and Mark Lawrence, who was 94 at the time, and they were waiting outside in their chairs in 17 below zero, never complained for 1 second about anything, and then they went on and did their work. And I just thought the character of these men was only about serving their work and nothing more. And it made an indelible impression on me. When I look around today and I think of the incredible, what's happened to the film industry and the luxury that people live in. And I often reflect on that moment and what remarkable people they were.
You know, for everybody who loves Sopranos, let's actually give a big round of applause for Sopranos. I often think of like how The Sopranos was like Super Bowl Sunday, right? Like where everybody would run home every Sunday, put out a nice spread, right? It's probably like a Sinatra spread because it has to be that high. And one of the favorite things for me was watching the little clips of next week's episode and what was in store. You know, when we think about Sopranos and you think about the movie Gotti, we think about the legendary Vincent Pastore. What a part he played. Dominic Chianese. The iconic Tony Sirico. I mean, you talk about somebody who's lived a life. It's a man's man right there. And we think about this Gotti movie. Now, I say to you this, a lot of people have heard you talk about this movie and what it means to you and all the other movies you have been in. Too many to list. Your first thought when Gotti 2 is pitched to you, what made you want to tell this final story? Because with having the Gotti family and all of these 100+ hours and museums, this is something that I said would be making history. What was your thoughts when this came to you? Regardless of doing Gotti 2.
Well, the Gotti story is a phenomenon in American history, and he was the first, actually, mobster, if you will, who went completely public. But what fascinated me about him and his character is that this is a boy who literally grew up in abject poverty, the son of 13 children, but a boy who grew up on the street, literally on the street, and had no spiritual or moral guidance whatsoever. He was truly a street kid, trying to survive in a very difficult environment. And he spent the formative years of his life on the street, literally with a rope tied around his waist and 2 different shoes on his feet. So, notwithstanding, there are people in America who came from abject poverty, went on to run major multinational corporations. I don't dispute that. But what always fascinated me about Gotti is that he had no moral guidance in his life. He had no moral gravity in his life. He only knew survival. And what comes across if you read the transcripts of the way he speaks is it's only survival. And there was a beat I put in the film where Gotti says an act of contrition in the graveyard. I believe it's referring to the death of the boy. And the reason I did that, believe it or not, is that Gotti knew at that moment that God was not listening because he essentially does not pray to God. He is a man who does not seek redemption. And I think the idea of doing Gotti 2 really has to do with the story of a man who was fearless enough in his own belief and conviction about who he was, not to be forgiven for his sins, which in itself is a kind of a phenomenon. So that really sums up, and I think also the story of the last 10 years of his life is a story of horrendous persecution.
Before we get to Dominic, you know, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe, I don't even know, because things have been crazy, but we had an evening at Tony's. It was a legendary event. And, you know, you think about how amazing Dominic Chianese. You know, it's funny, actually. You know, it's funny. I remember Pastor telling us that Armand had a lot of pull. This was his word for word. Armand had a lot of pull. This guy was playing. He says, we got to get somebody in here to play Dominic. And Armand must have moved some chess pieces around, and Dominic Chianese comes into Gotti. You're some mover and shaker. You know what? Let's play the clip from Dominic. And before we get to it, actually, hold off 1 second. I want to say Dominic, when you're talking to him in the little cafe that you have, whoever wrote that, incredible acting, incredible. So when that part comes in his cafe that he bought because he retired after becoming a counselor, I don't know if he got a pension or a 401k, but let's go to the clip.
Ricardo, this is John Gotti.
How are you?
Paul Castellano.
How you doing, Paul?
Joe Armand.
John?
Well, sit down, sit down. I heard good thing.
Consigliere.
The rule was broken, yes. It calls for Gotti to die. Was the reason for breaking the rule so powerful that it was justified? We need all the John Gottis we can get, but we survive by our rules. If it was my call, he would go.
That harness.
I've done my stint, 44 years. I bought a little hole-in-the-wall cafe in Astoria. I walk to work every morning and get away from my wife.
Well, you gotta check.
How are you, Joe?
I'm good. Gaetano, espresso. For sure, you were supposed to be in that car with Frank.
We going to war?
They took their shot. They'll be satisfied with 1 for 1 and give you a pass. But you got even bigger problems, John.
Yeah? You selling a special here or you telling fortunes today, which?
Don't take no fortune teller to see where you're heading. I went to your inauguration. I held my nose, but I went.
What do you have to hold your nose about? I'm just curious.
I got every right to talk this way. I was at the sit down with Neil and Paul and Don Carlo after you clipped Gaglione. You broke a rule then, but Neil got you a pass. So then you went ahead, you broke another rule. You whacked out a boss without a commission okay.
Excuse me. I'm supposed to get a commission okay? Well, my family's being blooded that. Hey, fuck Paul. He deserved it.
That's got nothing to do with it. The rules are for everybody. Right now, on a street in Brooklyn, there's a young kid. He works himself up and he talks to DB, he talks to Gravano, he talks to 3 or 4 capos, and you get a bullet in your head. We survive by our rules. And now you're breaking the oldest rule of all. You're going fucking public on TV and magazine covers. There's fancy suits, these fancy haircuts. John Gotti. John Gotti.
Don't give me that shit. I didn't ask to go public. You know, they shoved their goddamn cameras and microphones in my face. Get the fuck out of here.
You're turning this thing of ours into entertainment for every chidrula that watches the 6 o'clock news. But our thing is secret. Kabish? Secret. And what you're doing won't work. You really believe you're the one wop who can keep spitting in the government's face and get away with it? You're making them come after you.
What do you think, Joe? You don't think the FBI knows who you are? You don't think your face has been sitting on the wall right next to mine for the last 20 fucking years? Get the fuck out of here. Hey, they know me. I know who I am. I'm not embarrassed by who I am. I'm not gonna sit in a dock here like some fucking rat. You know, in the end, maybe I get a little respect for it because I'm not getting any of you.
John, you made a hell of a long walk from a cockroach tenement to the cover of Time magazine. That takes ability. But a Cosa Nostra boss don't belong on the cover of Time magazine.
Wherever I'm at, it's because I am who I am, all right? I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to apologize for who the fuck I am.
But you'll wind up in a cell because you are who you are. And you'll take a lot of good people with you. Duck, John. Learn to duck sometimes.
Dominic, learn to duck sometimes, John. I mean, the first time you ever met Armand Assante, do you remember that moment?
Talking to this, yeah.
There you go.
The first time I met him, what?
First time you ever met Armand Assante,
Yeah.
what was your thoughts about what type of person, what type of actor he was?
I think it's a question of respect. I felt that I'm talking to somebody who really wants to hear me talk and say something, and it encourages me. I think that I was always looking for some kind of way to do my job as an actor, to be real. And you know, I may be older than Armand, but he was like an uncle to me in that sense. Somebody who knew exactly what, like you said, what the street was. Because I was born on the streets too. We all were, you know. But I had to learn to be a man. And I get that feeling from Mr. Assante. And he's like an uncle to me. That's how I felt about it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, you've been acting a long time, Dominic.
Sorry?
A long time you've been acting.
Yeah.
A long time.
But, yeah, 70 years maybe. That's a long time.
You know, it's amazing when you think of something like that and what you contributed. You know, sometimes I think when you're living your own journey, you don't realize how much people appreciate the films you were in, the characters you played, and there you go.
Yeah, I
you know, all these years acting, I'm sure airports, moving around, how special it is for the fans to really show how much they appreciate your contributions to the entertainment industry. How special is that? I'm sure you see fans all over the world, Uncle Junior, all these different names that they say. Is that something that is still so special to you?
You know, you really do have to have a sense of who you are And if you feel you have a talent, this is for parents and teachers. If it's in the child, you may have to face adversity within your own family sometimes, but love eventually wins out because if I may be personal about my father wanted me to be a school teacher. And because in the Italian cultures, to be a school teacher is to be respected like a guru or some kind of god. And I understand that, and I believe that. Very true. And then I realized I've been to everything. I made it as an actor, and I love to sing, and I'm a creative person. But my father was right, because when you know something, you can teach it. And everybody knows something, and I don't care what it is. You teach it to your children, and they'll find a way of connecting they'll find a way of connecting it with your own life. My father was a bricklayer. He would say, lay one brick at a time. And that was very important, because I realized that even in acting, you got to take your time and do it right. In cooking, in shoveling the snow, no matter what you do, you've got to do it with a sense of a purpose in it. And do it just because it's right. And if you're a teacher, draw the child out. If you're a parent, with your love, you can draw the child out. And I get that feeling from actors, the guys that I've worked with. William told me one time, he said, you like to sing country songs? I was singing a country song, The Blue Side of Lonesome. And William heard it and he said, you should do that. You should sing it, do country songs. So I started to learn a lot of country songs. And by some miracle, I ended up in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry. And what did I sing? I sang a country song, and then I sang a song that my grandfather taught me in Italian, and everybody applauded, and the tears just came right out of my eyes. So you got to work with people that you love. And I think the Gotti character, I think, was a true individual, but sometimes that individual doesn't know that the real thing is to be a part of the community. That's what I was trying to teach him in the thing. You got to go by the rules if you want to be the family. But Gotti was strong. He had strong individuality.
That's right. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you. That was beautiful. Another important thing about the 1996 Gotti movie was how it helped, like I said before, cast a lot of Soprano members that we did not know. And there's a man responsible for that. I mean, Armand Assante. Armand, when HBO was looking to cast, and I know you went back and forth on them with a lot of different actors, saying, no, these actors are right. How powerful was that for you to get your creative, well, your mind, your thought, and them approve it, and look what we got?
Well, I was in kind of an extraordinary situation because the casting process of this film was not simple, and there were a lot of arguments going back and forth because HBO at the time, they also wanted more theatrical names in the film. And I harken back to many, many years ago. I had a letter when I was very young. I was about 35 years old, and I received a letter from Anthony Quinn, who said to me basically in one line, "Keep doing what you're doing. I like what you do, Anthony." And when the Gotti film came up, everyone was stumped as to who would play Agnello Della Croce, and it occurred to me, I'm going to make him make good on that letter. So I contacted Anthony, and he, at first he was not that impressed, with the idea of being in this film. I said, just read the script. He said, I can't get involved. So 2 weeks later, he called me up and he said, I'm in. Well, from then on, it added a lot of credibility to my ideas about the casting of the film. And there were 4 actors that I insisted upon everyone seriously look at, that nobody was looking at. And it took me all of about 4 months of arguing with the casting people at HBO that these actors were quintessentially correct for this film. They were Dominic Chianese, Tony Sirico, Vincent Pastore, Richard Sarafian, William Forsythe. And I have to tell you, I am so proud of what they all went on to do with The Sopranos, because I want to tell you something in the life of an actor. I'll give you an example. I asked Anthony Quinn one day, what was the most difficult time in your life? Because you've had a very long journey in this profession. And he said between the ages of 50 and 70, I couldn't get a job. And I looked at my own life and I thought, wow, maybe I should reconsider what I'm doing. And oddly enough, Quinn, at the age of 50, it was his idea to do Zorba the Greek, for which he won the Academy Award. That's his own heart telling himself that his song has not been sung. So a tremendous lesson to learn about the belief in oneself. But to get back to what I was saying, I was so thrilled that these actors went on to have such spectacular careers, because being in the life of an actor is one of the most vulnerable positions you could ever even imagine. There is no tomorrow. It's that simple. I've often told you, it's not a profession. It's a way of life. It's the way you look at life. It's the way you study life. It's the way you love life. It's the way you appreciate life. And it's the way you live your own life. So with that, I just want to say I'm very, very thrilled that they've achieved the amount of work they did in really glorious, glorious work. God bless them all. Thank you.
Special to see something from the ground floor and how well they were portrayed. Let's take time right now to give some flowers to Mr. William Forsythe. Let's play his clip, please. Let's make it a little louder, too, if we can.
John's aces with me. I mean, he got a kid that I know out of a jam with the Zulus up in Greenhaven. He didn't have to do it.
And Johnny's problem is that he's a street Neapolitan, huh? Always scheming. Westerners are sick.
Jesus, Johnny.
Hey, Sammy, how you doing?
I'm so sorry.
How are you?
Who done this job?
No, leave it alone, Sammy. It was an accident.
Just an accident.
Sammy, this isn't the time or place for all you just as John's friends and the families, you know what I mean? Just stay here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Sit next to you. That ought to give it some weight.
You're gonna be on the boss. You ready?
Frank and Chico be consigliere.
We're tight. Yeah, real tight. Huh? Put that like no government nowhere. Is ever gonna break this? We're gonna make a powerhouse now. They're causing those strange scenes since Anastasia.
Anastasia? Shit, John, this is bigger than killing the fucking president.
Hey, you think I was putting this earth to make them rich and me poor? We're gonna do a hit now. We're gonna do a real hit. We're going back.
Yeah. Back to some real in-your-face Cosa Nostra. Out in front on a line. Make him sit back and watch a volcano blow. You with me?
I'm with you, John. All the way to the finish. You really worried about this thing? I mean, you want me to keep an eye on DB or what?
Yeah. Keep an eye on him.
Come here. Take care of yourself. You're worried about your blood pressure. Don't be eating all that greasy shit. Contractor from that school out in Queens. Looks like we got a little $30,000 envelope coming.
Good. Could use the money.
Your fucking habits. There you go.
2 sugars. Thank you.
Salute.
Cheers.
How could you say those things about me, John?
Hey, tapes are tapes, man. Don't mean nothing. I'm talking, right? I'm fucking talking, right?
Yes.
Let's get your mic started, man. Frank Vincent, rest in peace.
God bless Frank.
You know, he gets an espresso with 2 sugars. Guy clips him from the back. What was that part about? Was that, do you remember? Take us through that part. Was there blood on your face? Was there ketchup? What was there?
It was definitely a splash. You know, it was just a moment, you know, it came from the moment, at that moment when he was shot, I got that little drip right there. So that ended up being just like one of those moments that, you know, just happened from the reality of it.
You know, you're another one with what a career. You know, when I hear Armand talk about how, yeah, that's right, let's give it to him. You know, I hear Armand talk about, you know, how tomorrow, and then you think about all the films you did. And the funny thing is Big Time Tommy in the audience? You know, I don't know why, but I hear that one of your favorite kill scenes was Big Time Tommy? Is that OS for life?
It is true. I did a scene in the movie Laugh Killer Laugh, and I go into this room and I annihilate this whole room full of people. And as I'm walking out, as an afterthought, Tommy comes walking out carrying a big box of cannolis, and I just, and he drops.
Now, did you take the cannolis?
Yeah. I got to say something. I just want to say one thing.
For sure.
That nobody's really addressed tonight. When this group of people got together, I mean, first I heard, okay, we're doing this movie. It was very exciting. Then I heard we were all going to go to Toronto to make the movie, and it just seemed, what are we doing? Why are we going to Toronto to make this New York movie? But I got to tell you something. It was the most incredible experience maybe that I've ever had in my life. We brought the Gambino crime family to Toronto. This group of guys, these incredible actors, every single one of them came, and every single day, every night, we hung together, we lived together, we ate together. We were the Gambino family. And I can't tell you, I mean, it's an old school way of working, and I long for it again because you just don't get it anymore. You don't get anything like this anymore. You know, it's phenomenal, you know. Every actor, you know, phenomenal. You know.
When you think of a classic movie like Gotti, and you think about, like you're saying, all the casting and the talent in there, and then you think about working with these actors, and when is the last time that you've seen Dominic and Armand?
I just recently shot something, and I got to work with Armand again. When we did Gotti, I mean, we had a tremendous relationship. We loved each other. We got along. Everything was so beautiful. Honestly, I told Armand 2 months ago, I said, I had the feeling that you and I were going to go on to do 100 more movies together. Well, cut to 25 years later, 26 years later, we met for the first time in all those years. It's scary how quick it all goes. And one thing about being an actor, you should never take anything for granted. It is so special when you have the moment to work with someone. I mean, Dominic, how long has it been since we had that conversation about country music? I mean, it's 25 years. And everybody's gone on and done all this tremendous work, and everybody's done so many things. But it's like Anthony Quinn said, it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes, like the rest of life. And I can't tell you what an honor it is to be back on the stage with you guys again.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, it's special, like I said, when you see how actors are like peers, right? You know, it's really special when you see somebody who has mannerisms like you do. You know, I talk about Armand. I talk about Dominic. I mean, the way your leather jacket moved.
I still have that jacket. I'm going to wear it tomorrow.
Yeah, baby, yeah. I mean that. You know, it moved. You heard the sound of the jacket and your
Let me tell you a funny story about the jacket.
Yeah, come on.
They were prepared. They were looking for period jackets, 2 leather jackets for the movie. And these guys, you know, they were doing it right. They were prepared, you know, whatever it cost, thousands of dollars, whatever, it didn't matter. So I went up to wardrobe and I said, I got the jackets. You go, what? I go, no, I found the jackets. And they said to me, they go, how much? I go, 4. They go, $4,000. I go, no, $4 a piece. I found these 2 authentic, beautiful leather jackets I found in this used clothing store, and I got both of them for $8. So it was great.
Hey, listen, you're the original thrift shop king, okay? Now, that's another thing that I find very fascinating is wardrobe in certain movies. You have to get wardrobe right. Sopranos crushed it. Gotti crushed it. You know, even something like Goodfellas. You know, so many others, but wardrobe, I know you spoke about how they took that serious, wardrobe. I mean, even your outfits, some of them were those little jackets with the pockets that you can't even put your hand in. Beautiful. Let us know about the wardrobe and how, you know, how they were really focused on being authentic to the characters.
Well, in this particular film, they had an Italian tailor in Toronto where we shot the bulk of the film, who absolutely cut the clothes to the standards of Brioni. So everything that I wore in the film was actually a duplicate of a Brioni suit or a Brioni coat, which Gotti was famous for wearing. He had a wardrobe, God knows what it was worth. But we actually made duplicates for a lot less money. But they serve the purpose because they look identical to everything Brioni designed.
You know, wardrobes, especially when we think about the timing, the jackets, the shirt. You talk about, you know, we cannot forget, okay, this is a little side note, but one of the most legendary jackets. Where is Mr. David Praval in this audience?
Oh, yeah.
Is he here?
He's here.
Okay. The jacket. Well, you'll hear that tomorrow. But when we really think about celebrating Gotti and with Gotti 2 coming out, we think about the people who are not here anymore.
Absolutely.
Like the late, great Anthony Quinn, okay?
Yeah.
We want to talk about, you know, when you talk about somebody who really portrayed, I mean, one of my favorite scenes from Gotti is when he came in with those 2 Italian guys. And he said, if Don Carlo would have said, you go, I would have came with these 2 zips and you go. And to me, it was so powerful. I mean, I tell you this all the time of how powerful it is. But we understand that Gotti movie will forever be classic. And I'm so excited. And I know the world is so excited. The final chapter, Gotti 2. It will be on virtual theaters. I mean, listen, get your popcorn ready for Gotti 2, okay? As we wind this down, I do want always the fans and the people who love so much. I would love to do a quick Q&A, couple of questions, if people want to ask a question, or either give some flowers to these legendary gentlemen that we are proud to share the stage and the audience with tonight. So I don't know if we have another mic.
Yeah, Mike's right here.
How we handle it? Yep.
Mike's right here.
There we go. So let's start. If somebody has a question, we're going to get a couple up here. I want the audience to get involved.
Let's make them good questions, though. Let's make them good questions.
Hello. Thanks for giving me the mic. I am
Speak a little bit louder if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I am excited actually because I might be the only non-American in this room, probably. I am Turkish. So there are so many things I want to say, but okay, I will ask my question at the end. So first of all, I was thinking myself, I just watched the movie again, second time before coming here. And I think this movie, not because you just talked about it, but it should get the best casting award, okay? Because I think not only the characters are, the actors are so great, but also if you look at the real life, personage, it's actually, for example, Semi Gravano or Paul Castellano, they are so good casts. I was going to say, for example, have you ever, get opinions of from the real characters like Semi Gravano? Because I think, like the character you played, I don't think anyone else can, fit better into that role. Same as for, the Castellano character.
Amen. Now, do you have? Was that a particular question for William or Armand?
Yeah, I'm asking to all of them actually, but for the Gravano as well. I want to say one more thing. Sorry, I am taking so long. I thought Mr. Chianese, his name was Chianese all the time. Yeah, so I saw him in New York City, Upper West Side once, but I was actually scared to approach him. I didn't want to look like I was going to whack him. I was tying his shoes. But thanks for coming here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. So the question is, the casting was so good for this movie. Has any of the actual people come up to them and let them know that, there couldn't be anybody else to play that certain role?
I'd like to answer that.
Okay, William.
I was at a party one night, and now I don't even go to parties very often, but I was at a party one night, and this huge, intimidating guy comes walking in the door of the party like this. And he's looking around the room, and finally he spots me. And I'm like, holy shit, and he starts walking towards me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. The guy comes walking up to me, and he just looks me dead in the eye, and he goes, Sammy says. I don't know what the fuck that would have meant. But, as far as I'm concerned, that was a Siskel and Ebert great review.
That would have meant you weren't leaving. That's what that would have meant.
I love it. Michael, where are we? Let's get one. Let's get another question.
All right, we have a few questions out here.
Make sure you introduce yourself.
He's got the Italia shirt on. Hang on.
Yeah, so my question is, in your acting careers, what is some of the best pieces of direction you ever got from a director?
It's a good question. So
What's the best? Go ahead, Pete.
Again, Mike.
What's the best piece of direction you received from a director?
Yeah, that you appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, personally, I think every actor worth his salt wants a director to evoke something from him that he's never shown before. It's very rare when that happens. But when you get a director who can actually evoke something from you that's there within you, that you didn't know was there, it's a very powerful discovery. So I use that as kind of a criteria when I work with directors. But most directors, I think, have a tremendous understanding of actors. Certainly, the seasoned film directors know what they want to achieve from actors, and they cast their actors meticulously for that reason. They cast the actor knowing that the actor is going to deliver exactly what they want. And that's really it in a nutshell.
We got another question?
Of course, we have another question. This is a good question. Hang on.
My name's Claude Conley from Tennessee. Mr. Assante, was the cell phone actually snuck into prison for you to ask Mr. Gotti if it was okay for you to play him?
Michael, repeat that?
That's a great question. First of all, he's from Tennessee. So
Shouts
let's
to
give an
Tennessee.
applause for Tennessee. Poor bastard's all by himself over here from Tennessee. He's got one guy at the table. It was an awesome question. The question is, when you played John Gotti, did he slip a cell phone? I already know the answer, but did he slip a cell phone in? Meaning, did you get to talk to John Gotti when you actually played him?
Did I have a cell phone?
No, he was trying to be funny, I think, saying, did he give you a cell phone to talk to him? How did you get that role so good? Did he actually help you understand the role of John Gotti?
I studied the transcripts. Gotti was the most recorded mob figure in history. I studied the transcripts are the literal dictation of what's being recorded. I studied the transcripts. There's books of transcripts on Gotti, and I studied them meticulously. And also, if you've ever entered the neighborhoods of Howard Beach, East New York, Brownsville, Starrett City, there's a certain cadence, because those places are high-pressured neighborhoods of sheer survival. There's a certain cadence and a rhythm and energy to the way people speak. It's a fact. Just as if you go into London, you can go into Oxford and you can go into neighborhoods in London, you can barely understand a word people say. It's all about survival. But the point is that predominantly I studied the transcripts, and we actually pulled real quotes that he had said in the street and put them in the film. They were so remarkably powerful, filled with this kind of peasant wisdom that he had. So it was a fascinating journey. Thank you for that.
All right, we have another question.
Good evening, gentlemen. I think Gotti is one of the only movies that you can watch maybe 100 times. I've seen it, and I feel like every time there's something that you can learn about the picture. So I guess my question, Mr. Assante, would be, now getting to hear you speak, kind of understanding you a little bit better, what went in psychologically into getting yourself in a position to play such a character, right? How do you get yourself mentally there to play somebody that seems maybe 360 degrees different from who you are?
Basically, you hear what went into you preparing for the character of John?
Well, I'll tell you some basic things. Gotti weighed 210 pounds, and when I was offered the role, I was about 165. So I put on 50 pounds. I went up to 205. I ate sausages and ice cream for about 6 weeks.
Now you're talking.
it took me a ferocious time to lose that weight. But I will tell you, predominantly the actor's process, any actor worth his salt, I mean, it's all about homework, laborious homework, and also, I like to use this phrase, and when I watch great actors, I always say, you have to put the role into your DNA. If it's not in your DNA, you can't do the dance. And that's really what the obligation of the actor is. So it's a form of what I call embodiment. And that comes from sheer rehearsal and the rehearsal process, which, as William told you, we rehearsed every Sunday and cooked all day and rehearsed laboriously to put these roles in our DNA, so to speak. But I remember I worked once with the great director, Sidney Lumet, and Sidney always said to me, he said, you know what people forget? 80% of this film's work is in the pre-production. It's in literally prepping the film. He said the rest is a dance. And with Sidney, he would give you the script in May. You would go to rehearse in September for almost 2 to 3 weeks on a floor where every prop that you would ordinarily get in the theater was in the room. So he prepped you like a real actor. And that process has been completely eroded by economics today. And I will tell you, the one thing that we all share in common is all of us spent a lot of time in the American theater, on stage. It's the way you develop your instrument, it's the way you develop your ability to communicate, and it's the way you really develop your acting chops, so to speak. Good question, thank you.
Very good question.
I have a few more. Hold on one second.
Let's get a couple more in.
Dominic, this one's actually for you. Kind of curious about your preparation, you know, when you're going from playing or portraying a real life person versus Uncle June, a character that you created. What kind of preparation goes into the comparison of those two roles?
I don't know if I heard you correctly say.
So the question is, for Uncle June, Dominic, how is it different from playing a real life person versus a role like Uncle June in The Sopranos? How is it different to play those two roles?
You're comparing Uncle Junior to another role? Is that what you're doing? I don't understand the question.
I think he's asking, how is it coming out of your own self and playing somebody else like an Uncle Junior?
Well,
how was that experience?
Well, Armand, he said, the only thing I can add to it is that you have to have the imagination and commitment to want to play the character in the first place. I think that's even part of what you call talent, a desire to do something. You know, little kids are the best actors in the world because they don't have any limitations. They say, I want that ice cream. I want that ice cream. You know, you believe he wants ice cream. He's not talking about, he's not using an analogy about psychology. He says, I want the ice cream. So we have to have the same kind of passion. Now, I think I'm going to answer the question that way. I don't know. But it's a different world from your own world. You have to have imagination to read the script and realize that words are more important than we think they are. Words are, you know, you can say good morning 50 different times if you're really committed to each 50 times. You know, we're in the gambling casino here. You can say, I want to bet $5 on the number 14. Or you can say, I want to bet $5 on number 14. You know, your imagination says you've got to bet it. It's about imagination too, and you get committed to it. So it's, I think I'm talking too much. I don't know.
No. It's a great explanation.
Analogy.
Give a round of applause for Dominic.
It's about commitment.
Let's do two more, Mike. Let's do two more.
Yeah, it's about passionate commitment.
And Dominic, you can never talk too much to this crowd, my friend.
Absolutely.
Hi, gentlemen. Hi, William. My question is for you. I just wanted to say that We really love your work. We love your character pieces. You did Officer Wydell in The Devil's Rejects. That's total opposite of Sammy, and I just think it was just a wonderful piece that people should recognize you for as well, along with this. But anyway, my question is, to keep it short, what was your favorite scene to do in the movie, and why?
In this movie?
So
honestly, we saw it today. The scene I love more than anything, and you talk about cold. When Armand and I were out at the garbage dump, I don't think I've ever felt cold like that in my life. I mean, it was absolute. I don't know what it was, but I couldn't feel my fingers on my toes anymore. The power of that scene, we hadn't planned that. When Armand opened up with the combination, and it's like, there was just, I can't explain to you, when you're working together like we were, when you're spending that kind of time together, you are in this space. It's a unison. It is so powerful. And when we were out there doing that, that was magical. What did Cliff say? I love Cliff. Cliff was this brilliant actor and coach who came on the set with us. And he looked at me one day and he goes, what did he say? The exact quote about us. He goes, Armand goes in, he just starts fighting. He goes, you're the counter puncher. And it was so funny. And when you see that scene, that's exactly what happened. You know, the power that comes from that moment. I mean, I'm not kidding you. We spent so much time together. We rehearsed. When we spent our time, there wasn't a free moment. Every moment was dedicated to doing an incredible job in this movie. And that's why this is one of the greatest films I've ever been in my life, you know, so that's all I can say.
Let's get a round of applause for that. Let's get a round of applause for that. Let's do one more, Michael. Let's do one more.
Okay, one more question. I have it in the front, but before we do, I want to remind everybody at the end of this, we're going to go out on the terrace and we're going to have some cigars. Armand Assante's favorite cigar, Plasencia. But this is going to be the last question. Unfortunately, don't attack me, please. I have security around the room. But this is a good one, I think.
Hi, Chris Leone from Brooklyn, New York. Dominic.
Brooklyn.
Mr. Chianese, this one is for you. Dominic.
Hold on, I got it.
Would you close us out with a few bars from Corey and Grotto?
Opera?
Let him know again so he can hear again.
He wants to see if he'll sing a few bars. And on the song, I'm going to mess up. Go ahead.
It closed out season 3, Corey and Grotto.
What's the question?
No, he was wondering if you could sing a couple of bars of...
What? Quoting Grado?
Do you guys want to hear Dominic sing?
Yes, I can sing.
Yeah!
It's a love song, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a love song.
Let's dim the lights a little and
That's
let's
why
get
I
this
like
going.
country, because you can sing love songs in so many ways. You know, one country singer can sing a song like I Can't Stop Loving You. It's all about loss. And another guy can sing a country song and he's lost, but he's drunk. And he goes into the phone booth and he says, so Quoting Grado is that kind of a song that comes from the heart. And her name was Catherine. But you use your imagination and you change it to another name, maybe somebody you knew in real life. Her name may not have been Catherine. It could have been Mary or you know, Louise. It could be anything. Cadari, perché mi dighi sto parole amar, perché me parli o cuore mi, dormiente cadari, non te scordar che t'ha giudato cuore cadari. Cadari, cadari, perché mi dighi sto parole amar, perché me parli o cuore mi, dormiente cadari, non te scordar che t'aggio dato cuore cadari, non te scordar.
Hold on.
I ain't finished yet, right?
It's time to turn up.
Cuore, cuore ingrato, t'hai pigliata vita mia. Tutto è passato, non ci pensi più.
I mean,
come on, everybody stand up. Everybody stand up.
That's a nice
question. Let's give Dominic a standing ovation. That was beautiful, my friend.
Now that's
That was
beautiful.
beautiful.
It's a nice question.
You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where we go after that. I mean, listen.
Out to smoke cigars.
I will say this. This was a beautiful kickoff to Sopranoscon, MobMovieCon, the first ever Mob Movie Awards. Gotti 2 was announced. I mean, let's go have an incredible weekend.
Come on, let's make some noise for these guys up here. Let's make some noise. Let's get some
Give him a
music.
standing ovation. Let's give him a standing ovation.
Standing
One more
ovation for our
time
friends.
for William Forsythe, Dominic Chianese, and the legendary Armand Assante.
All right, let's go have some fun. Let's have some drinks. Everybody out, get some cigars. Thank you again. Tomorrow we kick off in the morning. Let's do it.